Hey guys! I almost said high school. My school experience period was not that good. Like, I think I had a couple times when, like, I would call up my dad because I haven't always lived with him and be like, Dad, I love school. But really, when I think back on it, my school experience wasn't very good, especially from 8th grade. I had really bad, like, anxiety where I couldn't breathe when I was in my classes, and I found myself, like, actually, like, hyperventilating in almost every class, especially once I got to high school. So, I'm going to pick out a few things that happened to me in middle school right now that made me think I freaking hate my life right now, and, school sucks. I just had a moment because I'm trying to think of anything that could have happened in 6th grade, because 6th grade actually wasn't that bad. One thing kind of dramatic happened with a girl because I don't want to be friends with her anymore, but I didn't want to tell it to her face because I didn't want her punching me, so I wrote her a letter. She tried to open it in lunch. I gave it to her in lunch, but I didn't expect her to freaking read it out loud to all her friends. So, which it was 2 girls, but it was for her, not the other girls. And she decided to open the letter, and when I walked out of the cafeteria, the assistant principal walked over, took it, and then called me and her up to the office because she's like, usually people write letters if they want to fight other people, and I'm like, well, I didn't even state in there that I wanted to fight her. I just said I don't want to be your friend, and I gave her reasons. She was making fun of a girl, which I'll go ahead and admit I did say something once to the girl, which I ended up apologizing to her for because I realized that it's stupid and you shouldn't do that because it could really affect someone. He actually ended up calling that girl down to the office and talking to her and stuff. But besides that, the only thing that actually happened was there was this girl that had lice, and she had long hair. Not super long hair, but decent, like medium. And people were actually telling her, like, I can see a bug in your hair. And, like, I don't know if they were exaggerating just to make things up, but this one girl told me that if you put your hand on top of her head, you can, like, feel movement underneath. And they were saying you should go get your hair checked for lice, but she just didn't want to do it. And so when she finally did, she was infested with lice and literally had to shave off all her hair. So she came to school with a wig, but then she got tired of it, so she stopped wearing a wig. I think she said she threw it away. She told me she threw it out the window, but I don't really know, like, if she actually threw it out the window. She just stopped coming to school with it on, started wearing a hoodie, but every time the assistant principal will walk into a class to check up on them, literally be like, take your hoodie off. Because in any school you go to, or any school I've been to, they don't let you wear a hoodie around school. They always tell you to take it off. So she eventually had, like, these little fuzzies on top of her head, which probably was the hair, like, growing back in. I don't know, but I only said that was about a school experience because then me and this one girl, it was stupid because everyone sometimes, like, itches, like, just slightly scratches at their head. Like, it could just be a reaction to being nervous or being confused. So it was getting kind of retarded because, like these 3 girls that, like, I would hang out with, but they would be like, you should get your hair checked. So then finally me and this one girl, I would just call her Dorothy. Dorothy and me and I went to the nurse office asking for a checkup. The lady checked her hair. She checked mine first, and then she checked hers, and she ended up telling me that you actually do have it, but she says you're lucky, and it must have just been the start because there's like there's just like 3 eggs in your head. Not in my head, but like on my, you get it. I just basically told Dorothy, don't tell anyone, and she must have not because I'll get to it. So I ended up having to leave early because I have lice and I don't want it spreading. And so I get home and my mom's like, she's not paranoid, but she started checking everyone in the house. And my mom started putting, like, treatment in my hair and stuff. She didn't throw away my brushes and stuff, but, like, she filled up the sink, and I don't know what she put in there, but she put some kind of treatment or, like, cleaner thing and just let them soak for, like, I think it was like 24 hours until I could use it again. And I think I missed just like a couple days of school, but I wanted to go back because, again, for some reason I actually liked school at the time, so I actually wanted to go back. But, like, I don't think I was 100% good. Like, I think I was like 99% good. It was the morning that I wanted to go back to school. My mom's like, okay, let me check your hair just in case you have something in there, and I'm like, no, it's fine. She checks my head and there was like one, like, more, like, the last egg So she pulled it out, and for some reason I was like aggravated, and she's like, here, what if the nurse would have saw that? She wouldn't have let you go to school. And I'm like, fine, whatever. So I had to go back to the nurse, and she had to check to make sure. She checks through my scalp, my head, whatever, and I was clear. So I went back to school. And yeah, but the part that was kind of like a little bit aggravating was that this girl, I'll name her Kathy, she texted me and asked me why I wasn't coming to school, and I told her I don't want to tell you, and she's like, why? Dorothy knows. And I'm like, because Dorothy went with me, like, how is she not gonna know? Also, this girl in 6th grade, I don't know if she was necessarily trying to start a rumor, but she told some girl that I was anorexic. So then the girl walked up to me. I remember we were in orchestra class, and this girl walked up to me and was like, you're anorexic? And I was like, no, but for some reason, I'm dumb. I would turn towards my friend, I'm like, I know I'm hyper, but gosh. And she just started laughing at me. She goes, do you know what anorexic means? And I'm like, huh? And she's like, it means like you starve yourself, or just like it's an eating disorder. And I literally didn't know who did it, so I walked up to this girl because she was like in front of class. She wasn't making, like, we were having like this celebration, so there's cookies and everything in the front of the class, and I walk up to her and I'm like, who's saying this? And she's like, I can't tell you. And like, I'm like, and I literally looked to the side, and I just see this girl with like two or three other people beside her, and she's like, I don't care. And she kind of like looks at me, and I was like, the worst part is once I get to 9th grade, my teacher sat her beside me, and we act like nothing had ever happened back in 6th grade, but in reality, I remembered you. 7th grade. 7th grade was pretty bad too. 7th grade was just really like annoying to me because this one boy liked me, and so like these other boys would be like texting me like, why don't you like this kid? Why won't you go out with him? And I'm like, leave me alone. I don't like anybody, like, I don't even like myself. The annoying part about it was one of the kids that was trying to help his friend out. We were, like, at an outdoor activity, and I hope he doesn't see this because that would be pretty awkward. There was, like, 3 kids that were, like, trying to tickle me, and I was, like, bawling up because I didn't want to be freaking tickled, and this kid comes over to me, and starts walking up to me, and I'm like, don't tickle me, and he's like, I'm not, and he has like this smile on his face. He's like, I'm not. He gives me a hug, and then I feel him grab my butt, and I just pushed him off. Nowadays, I probably would have, I was too scared to do all that, so, and I walked off with the girl. The amount of violation that I felt from that was like through the roof. Like, some people might be like, wow, just because he did that, but I felt so violent. Like, not to be mean, but he wasn't even attractive. Like, whenever his class would come in after mine for lunch, so as we were like leaving, they were coming in, we would have to sit outside the patio until our teacher came and brought us back to the classroom. The cafeteria had windows, but they were like, you could see from the inside, but through the outside they were like that tent where you can't see anything through it. I would always go around the corner because I was so paranoid that he was like watching me or something. The people I was hanging out with was like, go to the office and like report it. I'll even say I was a witness. Like, obviously you're uncomfortable, go do something about it. But I was like, no, I'm too scared. It also kind of like sucked because these girls moved into my apartment complex that at first I hung out with. This one girl literally snapped on me one day. When they got transferred to my school, she sat behind me. And she was like, hi, and I'm like, so you used to not like me, but now you have no problem saying hi. And she didn't say anything after that, so I'm like, same. 8th grade freaking sucked because I moved schools, and it wasn't that bad because this school that I had gone to, 6th and 7th grade, I hated. It was not a good school. It's like, you would literally walk into a hallway, and you just get the smell of marijuana. And there's two types of people. There's the people that walk in there and they don't really like the smell, so they're like holding their breath until they get into their classroom. And then there's the type of person that literally walks in and you just hear, oh my god, I love that smell. And to me, it smells like skunk. It smells like somebody took a poop and shoved it up your nostril. Like, And then we've been on lockdown because a handful of kids wanted to bring tasers to school. We've been on lockdown because there was a prison breakout. We were on lockdown. No, I don't think we were on lockdown, but like this kid sprayed a mace. The school was on the news because a whole bunch of like kids, like when I mean a whole bunch, I don't mean like a handful, like a whole bunch of kids had to go to the hospital because they had mace in their eye. A teacher too even had to go. I don't know, honestly, I had like a strong hate for that school, so I finally moved. Now, 8th grade, a lot of kids are like, I hate this school, and I'm like, dude, compared to my last school, I'm so grateful to be in here right now. Yes, I had to deal with like some things on like here and there that were like aggravating, but it was alright. Then the time came where literally this was when my life went like mostly downhill. I started having like anxiety attacks, and I don't even know if I can call it anxiety because not even like I was getting nervous around something. Like the first time it happened, we were in Wing House, and which is a restaurant, and I noticed I was having like, I think I was focusing too much on my breathing or something. I don't know how it happened, but I just know all of a sudden I'm like hyperventilating, and like everything's, my vision's like moving on me, like things are swirling. Like my mom, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, Mom. She could have handled it better. She ended up just getting really mad because I was freaking out, and she probably just thought I was over-exaggerating, and she ended up yelling at me, which made the situation worse, and I started hyperventilating more. Nothing feels worse than the feeling of, like, to me, is, like, suffocating. And ever since then, whenever I would go into a classroom, I would start, like, hyperventilating and, like, going into, like, a panic attack. And I would try to lay my head down, but then I would, like, start, like, shaking as if I'm cold. Like, I would start shivering. And then, like, with my head on my desk, like, I was trying to be low-key about it because I wasn't trying to start a scene, because then that would make me, like, freak out even more. But it sucked. Every, like, class I was in, I was hyperventilating, literally all the way up until, like, 10th grade. I was having this problem. It was crazy, but I didn't have a good support system, and I wasn't seeing a therapist. I wasn't seeing a counselor, which is kind of my fault. I could have gone to my counselor and talked to her about it, but I was too nervous to. I'm just dealing this with, like, by myself, the feeling of suffocating all the time, walking to class, in a restaurant, sometimes in my house. I'd be freaking out. That was probably, like, the worst, that was the worst point of my middle school, because of course, like, I couldn't even get myself to focus on learning because I was so worried about the fact that I can't breathe, and I feel like I'm about to pass out and die. This is a long enough video, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it. So thank you guys for clicking on this video. If you liked it, click the like button. If you like me, subscribe, comment down below, and if you are new, feel free to check out the rest of my channel. I also post videos Mondays, so stay tuned. Peace.